we need to do?
Made this Communique possible. And for that reason, before I go through the protocol, I would like to invite the members of the technical team to come and join me, and the rapporteurs who have captured the proceedings of this event. Because what I'm going to present is simply a synthesis of what that team has done. Technical team, please. And rapporteurs. As they come, I would like to observe protocol. I'm pleased to see those very many good voices of the people who have mentored us to be here, and of the participants who have been here from Monday to Friday. Can you give them a round of applause? Don't be behind me so much. We need to see you. And not so much that far. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to just give a brief. Is it working? Okay. Oh, sorry, I'm far, which is part of some of the members are here. And for the actual event, I've been leading the team of rapporteurs. So what you are going to hear is a product. This year's Extension Week had the sub-theme, Unlocking Uganda's Agricultural Potential. Multi-stake actor agriculture extension and advisory services for resilient, digital, market-oriented agri-food ecosystems. So we're going to look through and see how far have we gone in discussing that theme. This event was preceded by 5 regional workshops, which were ably presented by the people who presented in the morning. And we saw how much and what they discussed in those regional events. For Communique, we have to do this declaration with the participants of this Uganda National Agriculture Extension Week, held between 20th and 24th April, are aware that extension must be treated as a business, with defined value proposition, revenue streams, and return on investment. The private sector are already providing extension because it is in their commercial interest. However, policy must recognize, certify, and coordinate them. Otherwise, we can overlap or contradict each other, and that can confuse the recipients of our services. We also were informed that integrated extension delivery through co-financed partnership ensures systemic coherency. And I believe many presenters talked about not working in silos, but to collaborate and work together for the good of the beneficiaries. We were also made aware that extension must bridge 3 structural gaps. The first one, the research extension linkage that keeps technology on shelves rather than on farms. Secondly, the farmer market feedback void that leaves producers without market intelligence. And thirdly, the information to action barriers that prevent knowledge from becoming practice. We are also made aware or informed that extension is one of Uganda's least regulated professions. This was echoed by a number of presenters here. And yet the National Agriculture Extension Bill of 2027 is not yet enacted after 9 years. Something has to be done. There is no certification, there is no licensing, there is no very complicated and not easily to follow up. Another issue, another message that we got is that researchers are judged on publications, but extension officers are judged based on activities and not on farm impact. That means that without performance frameworks rewarding collaboration and farm level results, we are likely to continue seeing people working in silos because there is no incentive for them to be recognized for that collaboration. That calls for policy to take care of that. Another message that we got is that sustainable digital extension requires public-private partnerships architecture, where the government provides the foundation and the private sector drives commercialization, maintenance, and AI-powered service delivery. Even the presenter that presented this morning was mentioning about maintenance. Government has problems with maintenance. So we can design all the digital tools, but there is need for that maintenance and commercialization. We are also made aware that the extension landscape lacks a coherent multi-actor coalition structure where the private sector, the youth, the civil society organizations remain marginal in the former system. It was pointed out that most of the leadership positions are held by men and normally middle age and on. So that leaves the youth out of the leadership positions as well as the women. And that can have implications for the kind of policies that we have. As we were told by Professor Lamy, that whoever is in charge of the writing determines the narrative. We were also informed that reliance on project funding threatens the agriculture extension and advisory services sustainability. Therefore, there is a need to shift towards institutional models that survive beyond individual project cycles. It was also clear in the parallel sessions that the livestock, aquaculture, and apiculture extension is under-resourced relative to the crop extension, despite their strategic economic importance. Now let's look at the issues. What issues came up in the different discussions that we had in the last 4 days? One, that extension services are crucial for translating agroecological value into market visibility. And this will help to avoid agroecological farmers' products competing with conventional prices. I believe some of you who go to the markets, you know that very well, that it's difficult to find where there is a price discrimination between organic or agroecologically produced products and the conventional ones in our normal markets. And that is a disadvantage to the farmers, and it discourages them from taking on agroecological practices. We were also informed that farmers are often trained in production without simultaneous market linkage, making training incomplete and unsustainable. Another issue is that practitioners hold experiential knowledge, often not documented, not validated scientifically, and rarely attributed to them. While academics study and publish about practitioners' work. I'm shy about talking about this one, but we do. And, and we become more visible than the people who have worked. So we have to work around there. We also realize that professionalization frameworks historically exclude women, youth from the agriculture extension and advisory services role and leadership, despite their dominance in the agricultural workforce. Agents are assumed to be frontline adaptation agents, but they lack specific training in the climate smart agricultural practices, data tools to use, and institutional backing. That means we are expecting too much from them without equipping them with the technical knowledge that they require and the resources. Another issue that came out from the discussions is that policy baselines are distorted about inaccurate farmer to extension worker ratios. Because normally the ratios that are quoted, like the 1 to 1,800, focus more on public extension staff, while ignoring the other actors. And yet in Uganda, we are having a pluralistic agriculture extension system. Oh, sorry. I went too hard. Okay. Another issue is that inadequate development partner coordination, which causes costly duplication and coverage gaps. You find that in some areas of Uganda, you have so many actors in agriculture extension and advisory services, while in others, there is hardly any coverage. Like one of the youths was sharing with us this morning that they've never seen an extension officer. But that could be because of such an issue. Another one is that government digital platforms often fail with digital transition, while digital transition remains ad hoc without any framework. And then currently, we have no standardized bundling of extension services with finance, insurance, inputs, and market access. And yet, we talked about this in 2024. It also came out in this one. So that is a pointer to policy direction as far as standardizing bundling of agriculture extension and advisory services. And then we have the European Union Deforestation Regulation, compliance, and traceability, which are essential for the EU access, market access, and yet most extension actors and farmers do not have the knowledge about it. We need to think around how do we make our clients get to know about it. And then we have AI tools in academic settings, raise institutional policy challenges, but the deeper issue is the mindset regarding AI-assisted learning. Because these extension officers we see in the field actually come from academic institutions. So if they are not empowered during their training to use AI to get information to support their practice, then they are likely to go to the field without that capacity to use it. And then lastly, public trust in extension workers was severely damaged by the NIDS era corruption legacy. So, given all those many issues, we are calling upon stakeholders to undertake the following actions. All actors in AES should shift from just production to integrate market and buyer-driven advisory services. Secondly, MAIF's strategy to professionalize agriculture extension should focus on technical competence alongside accountability, ethics, and respect for farmer agency. Government and the private sector actors should leverage the PDM financing and organizational strength to enable parish-level agro-industrialization. One of our exhibitors here and one of the presenters in the parallel sessions shared about how that has shown good results, micro-industrialization at parish level, which we can borrow from and pilot maybe in other areas in this country. MAIF should institutionalize agro-dealers, professionalization to ensure technical skill, accountability, and service-oriented business practices. The ministry should also build the technical efficiency of extension officers regarding the agro-input dynamics and utilization. That came out clearly in the panel discussion that we had here. MAIF also needs to streamline the diverse community-trained roles. We had village agents, we had FET, CBF, so many, more than 10 actually, that were discussed, into a cohesive system with integrated income streams and formal oversight of the agricultural officers. MAIF must mandate market-led design as the standard for all extension services. As we saw earlier on, that teaching farmers to produce more without telling them how to market doesn't help them. And then also align all extension programs with the emerging National Agriculture Extension and Advisory Services Coalition framework to eliminate duplication through mandatory actor mapping and shared coverage plans, so that any other organization that's providing AES should first find out where are the others and where can I fit in to fill the coverage gap. Government should establish a legally recognized national multi-actor AES coalition to incorporate the different actors and community facilitators with clear roles and accountability. We also need to create a dedicated government budget line or co-financing mechanism to sustain regional dialogue platforms independently of external project funding, because it was highlighted that many initiatives after the project cycle fundings are phased out, and we miss out on very good initiatives. MAIF and all actors in agriculture extension and advisory services provision should reposition all value obtain, all MAIF and all actors in agriculture extension and advisory services should reposition high value chain extension around 3 market requirements. 1, quantities. You had the lady of BSF, where there was market, but she could not raise the quantity required consistently. Quality is key, and consistency. And also integrate traceability systems and EUDR compliance education into advisory content for all export commodities. We are all Ugandans and we are aware how much the registration of coffee farmers brought an uproar in this country. But we cannot run away from it. It is here and we need to follow it. Extension advisory packages must bundle all enabling services because knowledge without access to finance, insurance, and quality inputs, as well as market linkages, is not useful to the farmer because they will not act on what they've learned. MAIF and district local governments should train extension workers as frontline climate adaptation agents. Climate change is with us, and we need to equip the people on the ground, especially with the early warning system so that they are able to understand it, climate information system services, and standard CSA packages matched to Uganda's agroecological zones. And then lastly, academia and government should take initiative and establish a framework to encourage and motivate extension practitioners to document, share their expertise and experience to inform policy and practice. You remember wearing the scientific goggles? And even the practitioners themselves should take initiative to lobby so that academic institutions accept the kind of writing, in academic. Oh, sorry. I've looked at the call for action, but if you go back to our theme this year, we are looking at, and even the Vision 2040 and National Development Plan 4, we are talking of commercialization of agriculture. From our discussion, we thought it prudent to come up with some of the business opportunities that came out from the discussions so that the participants are present and maybe others who read the report can take on some of these business opportunities. The first one is the private extension service provision, which creates youth employment and closes Uganda's extension gap. There was evidence from several of them. I just mentioned a few here. The commercially oriented community-based facilitators, the village agents, the digital farm visit motors, that is a digital tool. So we encouraged to go into private extension service provision for money. Secondly, the market intelligence platforms. The presenter from IDEA showed us that it's possible, and even you can go regional, East African region, I mean, not regional within Uganda, that there is demand for agricultural price intelligence because for their organization, they have 18,000 weekly readers and 32 markets tracked. And if you are able to tap into that, that is a business idea. Number 3, AI-powered extension tools. Isa Greek shared with us that context-specific AI platforms are possible with using data from Uganda. And though it is nascent, it is in demand because they have clients who are subscribed on that KAIS platform of theirs. And then we also realized that there are opportunities for edutech and agri-tech entrepreneurs to develop localized AI advisory, diagnostic tools, and automated community management systems. There's also opportunity in agro-processing and value addition. A case in point was the micro-industry at parish level that one of the presenters shared, but also through our field visits and even other presenters, there was a lot of value addition that we saw. So that creates opportunities in processing, in packaging, in cold chain logistics, in export compliance services as well. And then we have the business development services. You heard it from the president himself, and also from GIZ for those who are in that side event, that there is an opportunity to also provide business development services. And lastly, we have organic certification and premium markets. This is the way to go. This market is still prime in our country, and we are lucky that our environment is still good and it can be taken on. We now have a National Participatory Guarantee Systems Council, which creates a certification pathway for organic smallholders. This is reasonably cheaper than the international companies, and they're able to certify organic producers. In that line, we have business opportunities in consumer education as extensionists, premium retail development, organic chain aggregation for certified agroecological produce, even organic agro inputs. So those are the business opportunities that we were able to glean out from the presenters, but I picked out BCF farming in particular. It should be part of the other one, but it stood out that I thought we could share more about it. It is a commercially viable enterprise, which is on high demand for fish farmers and poultry producers. And as highlighted by the presenter, they need digital record keeping platforms. Those people who are digital savvy, you can support the farmers in that area. Defatting equipment, that is something new to me. I didn't know it exists, but it is. She mentioned one of their key challenges they have is the larvae having a lot of fat, and then aggregation models, and then organic input supply chain. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is, I would like to thank you for listening. And it has been long, but being a Communique, I have to make sure we have captured all that we discussed. Thank you very much.
Could we have a photo before we do that? Do we feel, show of hands, do we feel that the Communique best represents everything that was discussed? Show of hands. Wonderful. I would like to say 90% of the room feel that the Communique best represents everything that's been discussed. That's why it's going to be a wonderful picture of smiles, because you feel like the job is done. So we're going to have a picture with the tech